You look like you're doing aerobics. Get that squat in.
You can. That's why I do it.
This is fantastic.
Our special guest in this segment right here is writer Tom Pike and actor Kurt Yaeger of Personal Space, an awesome project we're going to find out more about right now. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3.
Wow! Wow, you got that on point, let me tell you.
Well, I'm an actor.
Okay. You've been practicing at home, I see.
Pretend at all.
By the way, I do got to make this joke before we begin.
Yes.
Jaeger bombs, do you ever drink them?
I don't drink them often, but every time I go to the bar and ask for my credit card back, I'm like, Yaeger, they bring you a shot of Yaeger. I'm like, one for the road, thanks a lot.
That's like a college drink, to be honest with you. It's like NyQuil, it's like too much.
Yeah.
Tell us about Personal Space.
That's Tom.
Yeah, so Personal Space is about a group of astronauts on a deep space mission that have no idea their therapy sessions are being broadcast on Earth as reality television.
Nice.
Was this
Drama.
Is this inspired by the recent Facebook controversy? Is that what it is? Big Brother, one of those types of things?
In like 24 hours, we turned this thing around. No, it was actually, so it's based on, people really tried to do this. Well,
I was going to say, it sounds like a real thing. Oh, really?
So this is, we tried to base as much as we could on things that have actually happened. And back in like 2013 or so, there was this proposed mission called Mars One, where they raised like $1 million on Indiegogo, and in terms of Indiegogo, that's a lot, but in terms of space missions, that's really not a lot. So like, how can we raise the rest of the money necessary to go to Mars? And they were like, great idea. We're going to make a reality show on the ship as they go there.
Of the astronauts?
Yeah, of the astronauts. Yeah, did I ever tell you this part of the
never
story?
told me this. I'm learning just like that. I'm like,
So
I got a feeling he was telling you, but you were probably paying attention to something else. As an actor,
maybe.
yeah.
He's on his phone, he's answering audition
is it my
leads,
line? Is the camera on me?
Right? Is the light right?
So
exactly.
Mars One, they never ended up actually doing it. Partly because, like, on a space mission, you don't want any drama. You want everybody to be on the same team. And on a reality show, you want tons of drama.
Yeah, live for the drama.
Yeah. So I think that's part of why it never ended up happening. But I was just intrigued by that idea. And that spiraled into Personal Space.
Awesome. But you also had to do a Kickstarter just to get this
Yes.
show on the road, and tell us about
Yes.
that journey.
Yeah, the Kickstarter was back in 2016. The project had already existed at that point for quite a while. Like, this was 3.5 years in the making. It just came out on March 2nd. So in the Kickstarter, we tried to raise $45,000. We raised about $49,000. It was a ton of work, man. It is so much work to do a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They should teach you how to do it in film school, because they don't right now. But one of the best things that we did in leading up to it was we cast the entire show before we launched. So we had Kurt, we had some actors from Battlestar Galactica and Stargate, and all these great science fiction shows. And literary web series. Like, we had Brent Bailey from Emma Approved. So we checked a lot of boxes, and fans, especially of science fiction, they heard it out and they supported it, and we love them.
Amazing.
So.
Kurt, tell us about your character.
My character is Freeman, and how would you describe him? Like, I mean, he's definitely a guy who's cavalier. He's an injured, actually. He was injured on a previous mission to Mars, right? Mars?
Yep.
And what's really interesting is the character, Tom wanted to correctly cast him. The character actually has an amputated leg, and so do I. So they really wanted to have that kind of like thing. But the character himself is sort of an amalgamation of like power and sensitivity. Like, I think that's really what captures everything. Like, you know, he's definitely a guy who like wants to be in love, but he's also got this like, you know, shield up.
Yeah, a lot of people deal with that. I mean,
But he can fix anything on the ship. He's basically the guy that's going to be able to make anything happen.
Oh,
so
awesome.
He's always being relied on, but then sometimes will go out of his way to help fixing things that don't need to be fixed. You know? And then, like, he's that guy too. So
Are you a handyman at home too, or are you a hot mess?
maybe just a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe just,
Do you run into the same problem of trying to fix too much?
I fix too much, and a lot of exes have said that.
Now, where can we watch this?
That is not fixing, right?
Talking about fixing things, something that really got me intrigued looking into your social media, you were right then and there when the fires happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were actually trying to put it down. Is that a word in English? Put it down the fire?
Yeah, put down the
Sorry,
fire.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, how was that like?
That was very...
A hero or something.
Well, I actually was on the news, Channel 11.
What?
Because, we rescued a horse that fell behind a building
heard
as
about
well.
this
Yeah,
horse.
so I was the guy in the motorcycle helmet because I rode in and jumped off the bike and was
Yeah, because
helping.
you're a writer too.
Yeah, I ride as well. So I did that. but
Wow.
I didn't. My neighborhood was evacuated, so I didn't leave.
What
'cause
neighborhood was this again?
This is up in Kegel Canyon.
Just real quick, I'd like to add that Kurt had been in this home for like 6 months
Yeah,
not
I
even
just
by the time
bought
this
it,
happened.
so I didn't want
And
to
he's
have it
already been through
evacuated.
2 mandatory evacuations.
Wow.
Yeah.
So being a homeowner is a lot of fun for
Yeah,
Mark.
it's fantastic. It's a lot of like research for character development.
Are you still living there or like?
Oh yeah, it's
okay.
beautiful.
He's there to stay. Well, where can we watch Personal Space, by the way?
Personal Space you can watch on Amazon. It's free with Amazon Prime. You can also buy the season if you don't have Prime.
I have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you can check it out. It's also on Share TV, which is important because Amazon we're on in the United States and in the UK, but Share TV is worldwide. So, people across the world can watch it.
Kurt, this is
Yes.
a little off topic. You mentioned you have a disability.
Yes.
What do you think about people talking right now about disability writers and just bringing that into the fold as far as, inclusivity?
I think inclusion writers is what you're mentioning.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing. I mean, I've been on the committee for Performers with Disabilities, SAG and AFTRA for 10 years, and there's a lot of problems where people don't think about disabilities as it relates to not only background actors, because there's 20% of the population have some form of a disability, and you never see background actors with a disability.
Right.
So they're not even a part of the scene, let alone everything else. So, I mean, if there's a character in a show where it's a lawyer and he has 5 lines, what's the difference if he rolls in, crutches in, if he's blind, deaf? What's the difference? So,
Right.
but a lot of times those people with disabilities and performers aren't even seen
Right.
because it doesn't say disabled person.
Has
What's
it
yours?
changed?
I don't.
Below the knee amputee.
Oh wow. Okay,
Has
I didn't know.
visibility-
It's amazing that you can ride bikes normally.
Yeah.
Just everything's
Yeah,
normal.
I run 3-4 miles a day.
Amazing.
You say
Good for you.
normally, I'm not as athletic as Kurt. I have 2 legs and I can't do anything.
Me neither.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We're going to check out Personal Space. Thank you for joining our Personal Space.
Yeah.
Thank you
Here on the
guys.
Zoo. We'll make sure to check it out.
Thank you.
And be careful with the fires up there, man.
Thank you.
I'll try.